I thought about this one today, and I thought this one was really cool. Um, just because I was going through my notes, and I was like, oh yeah, we haven't actually talked about this. This will be one that I think will be fun for the channel, and a fun kind of fun conversation for the community, really. Um, but the thing that we are going to talk about today is how to beat writer's block, or how to beat beat block, or how to come over writer's block, and things like that. So that'll be an interesting topic. So let's talk about it. So, um, this will be very interesting. This will be very, very interesting. So, when it comes to writer's block or beat block, I kind of look at them in the same fashion, right? I mean, if you can't really like get a beat down that you really like, or you just can't really cook up anything, it's pretty much the same experience and same feeling, as most of you know. So, how to overcome writer's block? Well, specifically, let's just start with writing in general, right? I think that'll be the big one here. Let me preface this by saying it'll be different for everybody, right? I think what works for everybody is what works. Like, there's really no telling on what's going to work, or what works for the next person, right? It's going to be different for everybody. But I just kind of want to lay out some of the resources and the ideas that people have had and kind of use as they go along, right? So I think the number one that I've seen, and some of my artists kind of take this tip as well, right? Is I think the number one when it comes to writing is covers. I think recording covers, or kind of, practicing covers, or even just like doing a cover of like any song can really get you out of like that normal element routine. Because I feel like when it comes to writer's block and beat block, that comes from like doing a routine, right? And you kind of do the routine so much that you become stale, and you're like, oh shit, like what's next? So that's something that I feel like when it comes to covers, it'll get you out of your element, right? I think that's one that's like super super important. So covers for sure. I mean, it doesn't even really matter what genre you are, right? I mean, you could just cover your favorite song, and see if you could actually like do it bar for bar and verse for verse and things like that. So I think covers are a really good way to get you out of your element, and like get your mind off of like trying to write something original, right? So that's number one. I think number two that I see most often, and again that I've seen my artists use as well, is taking a break. I mean, simple enough, right? Like taking a break is always like the easiest way to kind of like reset your mind and like reset your head, so you don't really have to like stress yourself out. You know what I mean? I think that's why it's good to like work and like sit on a bunch of material that you can release gradually over time. Because if you come to like a point where you're burnt out, or you get writer's block for a bit, or you get beat block, that's where you can kind of like take a break and let yourself kind of, sit on your backlog. So I think taking a break is another really, really good one. Um, so number one for writer's block definitely would be covers, or just kind of doing remixes. Number two is obviously like a break, right? I think taking a break is like super super fucking essential for anybody. Just to go back and reset your mind, right? I mean, whatever you do during that break is really up to you. I mean, even if you want to go on a walk, you want to watch a movie, you want to play video games, I think things like that over the course of like a couple days can really just re-inspire and reignite you when it comes down to that, because most of the time the writer's block and the beat block isn't that severe as to where you feel like you need to take like an extended break. You know what I mean? Like it's maximum like a week. You know what I mean? And then you're usually kind of itching to write or cook up a beat and things like that. So I think a break is a really good one. Um, and then number three, I think again probably is another obvious one, but it's one that I definitely think I see a lot, is to just stop creating material, right, and consume material. I think you should be consuming material regardless, right? I think you should be watching movies, you should be playing video games, you should be listening to other people's music, you should be going out, right? You should be going to parties, you should be living life, you know what I mean? Because a lot of the best music comes from experiences and inspiration. So I feel like sometimes taking a step back from the creativity is a good thing, right? For just a week or two, maybe even a month, as to where you kind of go get re-inspired and you go live a little bit. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, like I collected a couple stories and memories, and I can like bounce off a bunch of ideas off these. So I feel like that's like really, really crucial. You know what I mean? So again, I think number three definitely would absolutely have to be just go get inspired and consume content and material and media and art. Um, instead of actually going out and try to create it, right? Because I think if you watch like 50 movies in a row, there's no way you're not going to be inspired at some point during that journey, you know? So even like a binge on shows or movies, or again, you take a month off to play the new Call of Duty, and you know, you hear something that inspires you, or you just listen to music the whole time, or anything like that. I feel like that can really reignite your mental too. Because again, you know, in today's climate, everyone's always expected to be creating 24/7. So you need ways to like circumvent the pressure and like really take the pressure off yourself. So I feel like that's like probably like the top three ways that I'd say, like, even just writers and vocalists in general should be able to like take a step back and just kind of like reset their mind, you know? Definitely those three for sure. So covers, taking a break, and consuming art. You know what I mean? I think are the three main ways. Um but again, that's why I kind of like preface this by saying that it's different for everybody. You know, like what works is what works for you. You know, it could quite literally be anything. So just try anything, and eventually you'll find your comfort spot that you go to when you start to get writer's block or beat block, and you're like, okay, you know what I mean? And I think all those can apply to production as well, really. I mean, doing the same thing is like when it comes to covers, like just go try to remake a beat, or even just take a break again, you know what I mean? And then producers as well, you should be consuming media material, looking for samples, you know, looking for quotes, looking for just all types of shit. So a lot of those tips can apply to both producers and vocalists. So I think either way, no matter what role you play, um, I think those will be like a good starting point for you, and then just kind of like build off of that, and again, see what makes you comfortable. Because like I said, everybody's going to be different, and that's kind of why I wanted to have this, you know, conversation, to just kind of like let everybody know that they should share their tips on what they do for beat block or writer's block or anything like that. So that's why I think you should definitely tweet us what your favorite tips are for writer's block and beat block. This will be uploaded on the channel, so definitely drop it in the comments as well. Let us know what, you know, your preferred method of coming over writer's block and beat block is. You know, and if you're kind of in that stage, I mean, shit, I would say, you know, use these tips as like a starting guide, you know what I mean? And then just go from there, like I said. So, per usual, make sure you like the video, sub to the channel, all that good jazz. The Music Mondays channel actually uploads 2 times per week, every Thursday, every Saturday. Videos just like these, full Music Mondays podcast episodes, underground tips and tricks, and a whole lot of good jazz over there, man. So make sure you go sub to the channel, show these videos and these artists some love.